The AFL, and there were wins for the Swans, Port and the Cats yesterday, but this bump from Tom Stewart on Noah Anderson and how it's handled by the MRO is already firing up debate. Jake, we love the bump in footy and some are calling this the best bump they've seen of the year, but it doesn't look pretty with some angles there.
No, Tom Stewart's gone past the ball, so he's not contesting the ball per se at that moment, but I think he will evade suspension most likely from Michael Christian and the match review officer in the AFL, simply because he's fortunate that Noah Anderson, his the Gold Coast captain, wasn't concussed. And a lot of these bumps and tackles and so forth come down to the outcome rather than the act. Now, if he got him in the head even slightly, he'd be gone. But it looks like the damage is around the chest. Noah Anderson's been cleared, so I think Tom Stewart will walk. It's interesting. I wonder in the back of the MRO's mind whether the incident a few years back with in 2022 Dion Prestia, you'll see this here, which is an ugly incident where he's gone past the ball, further past it, concussed Prestia. Prestia was out of that game. Stewart got a suspension of several weeks for that. Richmond lost that game. That had ramifications. I felt at the time that was almost the moment for the AFL to look at a send-off rule. But this incident, it's all about the fact that he did not get him in the head, and I think that will get Stewart off.
But we know now that whiplash action that we do see Anderson have is what causes a lot of concussion. So it purely is just now based on outcome. Is that where we're at? Well,
it's based on a combination, but it's freighted heavily. And you've got to remember, Abby, the AFL are looking at this very much from the vantage point of future litigation.
Yes.
And the concussion potential. There's a class action going against the AFL right now. It's in the legal process. So we'll see more of this, but Stewart's just really lucky, I think, as is, of course, Noah Anderson, that he didn't get him in the head. You are allowed a bump. It's still in the rules, but you really want to be in a position where the risks, if you elect to bump, if the player hits the ground and hits his head, you're liable for the damage on the ground, not simply for getting them high, which is that's come in the last several years.
And it is going to be one of those decisions that, Jess, is a watch almost for where the bump stands in the game, because if that's not allowed, some people will be up in arms about the fabric of the game changing, but we do need to protect the head.
Yeah, we certainly do. We're currently still waiting for an outcome on a player like Jeremy McGovern, who's obviously, had concussion problems. So I just think this is such a delicate issue for not just the AFL. We see it in the NRL as well. It's a tough one. I'm glad I don't work for either code, because it would be a really difficult thing to not only manage the public sentiment, but also trying to keep the fabric of the game as alive as you can. This is what people come for. They come to see these big hits, but we know just how damaging these big hits can be long term on players.